There, I think we're rolling. Well, it's called Sitting on the Edge of a Song. Sitting on the edge of a song, just can't seem to write. Words about the sunset don't burn like the colors in the sky. Scattered through the page are the broken bones of days, and it's not the same as when I lived it out in life. I'm sitting on the edge of a song I just can't seem to write. Wandering through the places I've roamed, I won't settle till it's right. I listen to the rain beat a song in the distant sky. Well, if you want to hear one more time, just a voice to tell you that everything's alright. I'm sitting on the edge of a song, just can't seem to write. If you're hanging out there, drop a comment. Then I know I got some folks listening. Yeah, I'm sitting on the edge of a song I just can't seem to write. You know, words about the sunset don't burn like the colors in the sky. Scattered through the page are the broken bones of days, and it's not the same as when I lived it out in life. I'm sitting on the edge of a song I just can't seem to write. I just can't seem to write. I just can't seem to write. Hello, Autumn. How you doing? Well, I'm going to be at the Old Wine Cellar this Friday, May 5th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for anybody that's looking to hang out and hear some honest original music. I'll also play a little bit of dishonest, unoriginal music as well. I left home, 3 chords and a voice to live my stories. New York and Nashville love my ways. I climbed the radio like a foothill with a view forever. I gave many a young one fame. I lived in cars, I lived in alleys out behind the shore. I lived in late night sing-alongs when no one paid to go. I was born where the rows of cotton meet the long dark forest. Broken lives sang me to joy. I went from rags and mud to the golden records hanging from the wall, where generations found their voice. I've been requested by the millions to the stage. If you look for me, I have not gone away. But where you gonna find me? Not on the dial. Hey, I hear you still feel me. Yeah, but it's been a long while. I never did the leaving and I never did change. I'm hanging around the trails of the old coal trains. And I don't complain, I don't complain. I never needed all the fame and the fortune come my way. I only needed to exist. If I'm ever missed, I live in cars, I live in alleys out behind the show. I live in late night sing-alongs and no one pays to go. I'm still requested by the millions to the stage. So if you look for me, I have not gone away. Yeah, but where you gonna find me? Not on the dial. Hey, I hear you still feel me, but it's been a long while. You never been to leaving and I never did change. I'm hanging around the trails of the old coal train. I can't complain, I can't complain. Hey Matt, how you doing? Good to see you. I mean, good to see your smiling name. So Friday night I'm going to be at a place called the Old Wine Cellar in Olmsted Falls. It's a really amazing little spot, and be awesome to see as many friends as I can out there. This song is called Breaking a Chain. Yeah, I know things that I don't know, and it's things that I've heard said. So and so up the family line, you know it's better off leaving the dead. I thank God as hard as it's been for me, myself to be, that what tore my mama down, you know it never didn't make it to me. 'Cause she was breaking a chain, breaking a chain. Turn it loose and cut it down, never let it see the light of day. Breaking a chain. Stolen wings and siphoned dreams and lives that should have soared. Evil kings and Satan's beings are just waiting outside for more. But I thank God as hard as it's been for me myself to be, that would beat my daddy down, you know it never did make it to me. 'Cause he was breaking a chain, breaking a chain. Turn it loose and cut it down, never let it see the light of day. Breaking a chain. Diddle diddle dum. Diddle 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 dum. Now if you ever go digging around the family tree and find something they could almost hide, a little something slipped down through an aunt or a cousin or a brother on your sister's side. Well, was it left upstream of the river of blood that is running through your veins? Is it alive trying to rob you blind, but you're hanging on waiting for change? And are you breaking a chain, breaking a chain? Turn it loose and cut it down, never let it see the light of day. Breaking a chain. Oh, da da do diddle diddle da. Oh, da da do diddle diddle da. Oh, da da do diddle diddle da. I was born into a Great Depression. I barely made it out alive. There's a couple marks on the spirit of my folk soul. Somehow made it to mine. They gave me all the love they could, and it's better than they were raised. But now I'm raising up my own and I'm trying to lift the bar again. I'm praying I'm breaking a chain, breaking a chain. You turn it loose, cut it down, never let it see the light of day. Breaking a chain. Oh, do 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 do. Oh, do 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 do. Oh, do 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 do. Breaking a chain. All right. So, here's a song that gets requested at least once every time I play the Old Wine Cellar, which Old Wine Cellar is one of my favorite places to perform, whether it's inside or outside. Just a great little spot. It's over in Olmsted Falls, right by that old covered bridge. So, I don't know if it's like an old downtown of Olmsted Falls, if that's what you would call it. There's an old church there. I got to stop when I play outside when it gets to the hour because the church bells start to ring. Right, like 20 feet away. This song is a true story, as are many of my songs. It's about my wife's uncle. He finally got his own first car that he said wasn't junk. So it's the first thing he ever bought that wasn't junk. He had it about a month. He worked real hard to get it. Then he got drafted into the Vietnam War. So then he goes into the war, and of course there's more things to think about than a car, but he hated to give it up. Comes out of the war, and about 30 years down the line, he ended up getting that car back. Well, I grew up where roads of dust and mud were just as much a part of life as sun. Trees were green and skies were ocean blue. Memories of those days still cut right through. Was just a kid in Foley, Alabama. No clue I was bound for Vietnam. I owned everything I ever learned. Paid for every dollar that I earned. One day I woke up on the top of the world, and the world was a candy apple red. I never been so far as in that 66 Ford. I had the world in the palm of my hand. Some girl in the Gulf of Mexico, and to tell the truth I can't recall her name. But I never will forget the way a sunset turned to moonlight in that 66 Ford Fairlane. Hey Laura, I want to thank you. Now from the distance across the room, I swear to God that said your manufactured style. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to take that like a man, standing up. But then I looked a little closer, multifaceted. I really thank you. And I thank you for all these years checking in and just kind of checking in and, keeping in touch. I hope I get to see you soon. I really hope I make it back up to Detroit at some point. Just about brand new the day I picked it up. First thing I ever drove that wasn't junk. Like a pauper to a king with that 4 on the floor. From the chrome to the mirrors to the dashboard to the shore. My whole life lay ahead like a road with no stoplight. I was working every day just to see the stars at night. But Then my card was drawn and I was off to Vietnam. Sold away my treasure and moved on. One day I woke up on the backside of the world, and that world was yellow, green, and red. Long gone and sold away was that 66 Ford. We sent me to a war that wouldn't end. Some girl in the Gulf of Mexico, and to tell the truth, I can't recall her name. But I never will forget the way sunset turned to moonlight in that 66 Ford Fairlane. Yeah, well now I come home from Vietnam, and the last thing on my mind was to find a car that tore my heart to leave. So I worked my way through 30 years of endless days and weeks, and that car was just a distant love, it was a hazy memory. I climbed myself back to life, but my car was slowly dying away. It was painted in a prison, it caught a tree in a hurricane. I went through the gears of life, and on the other side I met a woman worthy of my days and nights. One day I woke up on the top of the world. I got a call about my candy apple red. I put it on a trailer at 66 Ford. I brought it home to give it life again. Worked by the light of the moon, whatever light I found in the hours that the world had left behind. Chrome to the mirrors, to the dashboard, to the doors. Now I drive most any road that I can find. With my girl in the Gulf of Mexico, not just any girl, but the one that took my name. And we never will forget the way sunset turns to moonlight in that 66 Ford Fairlane. My girl in the Gulf of Mexico, she's not just any girl, she's the one that took my name. And we never will forget the way sunset turns to moonlight in that 66 Ford Fairlane. Oh man, thank you. Yeah, that would be something. I don't play as much as I used to, but I'm not against it, just you know. But I do know I have this old wine cellar. I have another one in the summertime, and it'd be a perfect thing to come down for. All right. I am the sinner at your table. I am the woman at your well. There is nothing I can offer, but you hold me closer still. Many ways I've denied you, honored myself above your will. I turned my back and you were calling, but you held me closer still. But you hold me closer still. There is nothing I can give you, there is nothing I can do, but you take the chain I carry and fill these empty hands with truth. To your voice inside the darkness, I have set my eyes. In the refuge of your word and the spirit of your light, I am nothing but what you give. And you hold me closer still. Good night to you, Laura. Many times from the tree beyond the crowd, I watched you passing by. You said, come down, come down. And in the circle of men with stones, you stood with me as they went home. And I reach up to touch your robe. Make me clean and make me heal. But in the times I do not see you, will you hold me closer still? You hold me closer still. There's nothing I can give you, there is nothing I can do, yet you take the chain I carry and fill these empty hands with truth. To your voice inside the darkness, I have set my eyes. In the refuge of your word and in the freedom of your light, and I am nothing but what you give. You hold me closer still, but you hold me closer still. Here's a song about my great-grandfather. It's called Trains. My great-grandfather was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I've been all around Alabama, but have never been through Tuscaloosa, which is a bad place for elephants. Elephants prefer to live in Tuscatita. Yeah, well, the trains that I have ridden and the men that I've outrun, somewhere down the line, like all the places I was young, and the fires and the whispers that were kept until the dawn, died beneath cold steel bridges when the whistle moved me on. Hey, Camille, I've been shot in Alabama. I passed out in New Orleans and the Mississippi River. Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing I've seen. I've been all the way out to the Oklahoma trains. I think they gotta be, well, it's the longest place I've laid. And the trains that I have ridden and the men that I've outrun, somewhere down the line, like all of the places I was young, and the fires and the whispers that were kept until the dawn, they died beneath the cold steel bridges when the whistle moved me on. You know, the coal was out ahead of me, and the steam was in the air. Whole world was moving past me in 8 feet of Ashland Square. I know the girls that live way out on the edge of town. They want to run away, yes, but their daddies hold them down. And the trains that I have ridden and the men that I've outrun. Somewhere down the line, like all of the places I was young, and the fires and the whispers that were kept until the dawn. Died beneath the cold steel bridges when the whistle moved me on. You know, sometimes I still wonder if I'm still out there from miles from home with all the dried out matches in my pockets that I own. 'Cause the miles I never counted and the friends I had were few. And the only ones I trusted, that's the only ones I knew. And the trains that I have ridden and the men that I've outrun. Somewhere down the line, like all of the places I was young, and the fires and the whispers that were kept until the dawn. And out beneath the cold steel bridges when the whistle moved me on. Yeah, when the whistle, when it moved me on, when it moved me on, when it moved me on. When it moved me on. It's a song about my great-grandfather. You know, Friday won't be the same without any of you out there that are listening or that might watch this tomorrow. So Friday night, May 5th, I'm going to be at the Old Wine Cellar. It's a great little spot. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, I feel like, just to kind of be myself. As myself as I could be without being in a listening venue where I could play songs like Bird. I won't play this next song, Bird, because there'll be people, you know, trying to stay in a good mood and stuff like that. This is one of my favorite songs I ever wrote about one of my favorite people I ever knew. And my dad was a preacher, and he had a real good friend named Bird. And I'll just sing the song. In the last rise and fall of a shell-scarred chest, Bird laid back his ink and drew one final breath. He exhaled a whisper, it was all he had left. He's nixing the holes in his bones down to rest. The stone of his face turned spirit and white as he slipped through the sheets up above the street lights. His wife and two sons, well, they said their goodbyes, and his Harley sat silent, no man left to ride. Well, each scar was the title of a chapter and scene of something survived in a lone victory. Deep in his pockets and done banging round was the shards of broke hope that could not cut him down. And the angels, well, don't this some bird up somehow? They had too many rules, so he just hung around. Somewhere behind that stone wall and rock, somewhere behind that stone wall and rocks, he might smile, you might catch him soft. "46 years back, Bird did his hard time. Didn't quite kill the sergeant, but he made a nice try. He fought a war against fate so his sons and his wife would not carry any evil he'd bore his whole life. You see, his dad beat the hell in him, and mama did worse. His soul left for dead, and a child of a curse. He carried those sins like they were his own, till they tattered his body and smoked up his bones. The uncomfortable smile in the ache of a breeze bird never bowed down to a man on his knees, bound to be saved by asphalt and chain. He was hard as a road, he could not be contained. Jesus loves outlaws and killers and whores, the dirty and the broken, the wounded and pure. He was some part of heaven most won't ever see, the last living proof of a dying breed. You know that Bird was an outlaw who tried to make right. He was foul-mouthed and funny and mean and polite. Well, my dad was a preacher and Bird his close friends. They had something in common, chain bikes and wind. But the first time my dad brought up Jesus Christ, Bird said, "Cut that shit out or you're no friend of mine." So my father, he did what a Christian should do, just hang around and let the living show proof. But Bird cussed and told off-color jokes, and my dad, he just waited till the Holy Ghost spoke. He dodged smoke and turned wrenches, the stories of roads, and I think are overkill, but God only knows. You know, Bird's son was my best friend, and that's how this began. I wandered around the circles, it was the circles he ran, till my mom cut it off and she hoped it was done. She said, "Bikers don't have feelings, how could they're young?" One day Bird came to the door and my mom was alone, and she talked through the screen, kinda scared to the bone. In tattoo and leather, straight tier 2, he took out an album and began flipping through. It was pictures of his family and his wife and his son. They were smiling and loving in the things that they'd done. An outlaw in stature, his voice came out weak. He changed my mom's heart as he broke down to speak. He said, "No one around us points my son right, and that friendship with your kid is good for his life." Mom, she was scared, but she knew she'd been wrong. You see, bikers have feelings, but the feelings don't belong. An uncomfortable smile in the ache of a breeze bird never bowed down to a man on his knees. Hard as a road, he could not be contained. He was bound to be saved by asphalt and chain. Jesus loves outlaws and killers and whores, the dirty and the broken, the wounded and pure. Bird was some part of heaven most won't ever see, the last living proof of a dying breed. When I write songs, sometimes I have a lot of trouble figuring out where the beginning is. Originally, this ending was the beginning. It's because I thought about this guy that people would see, maybe talk to, rough. He presented himself like he wanted to present himself. He cursed a lot. He was kind of crude. And yet, Not only was he one of the kindest, most loving people I ran across in my lifetime, but he took these horrible, awful things that had happened to him as a child, and he stopped them. And all the people that might look at him on his motorcycle or look at him in the store and do their judgments and think what they think, they would never know how amazing this guy was and how he changed the world by putting a stop to terrible, awful things that had happened to him and raising his kids as best as he could in a way that he wasn't raised. And this was going to be the beginning. But it's the end. Not far uptown where the shiny locks turn, the chandelier lights and the windows still yearn. Well, now people rest easy, a hair more assured that the man they don't know has cussed his last word. Well, that's more than some biker, that man that rode out. He was born in a curse that he never passed down. He found his heart, he loved good and fought mean. He's the last living proof of a dying breed. Well, they make a man, they fake him some more. This world is too fragile for someone so pure. There's some part of heaven most won't ever see. He's the last living proof of a dying breed. Jesus loves outlaws and killers and whores, the dirty and the broken and the wounded and pure. He was some part of heaven most won't ever see. He's the last living proof of a dying breed. Dying breed. This part I tried to kind of mimic his bike. And one time I was playing this song just sitting around on some porch somewhere, ignoring some chore. And this melody came to my mind, and I thought maybe it reminded me of being, I've never been on a Scottish Highland, but for some reason I was thinking of that. But whatever it was, I thought this melody belonged there. And I thought if Bird had a melody, maybe this is his melody right here. That's the story of Bird. Well, I'm gonna do a couple more, and I really hope that anybody that sees this tonight or tomorrow, I'm telling you, Friday won't be the same without you. I'll go up and I'll do my best, and I'll give everything I have for everybody that shows up, but it won't be the same without you. So if you can make it, please do. Let's see what we got to finish up here with. I got time for one or two more. Here's a song I want to get back to doing, but it's one of those ones I wrote that's like, I don't know, I call it maybe athletic, because I kind of have to be a really practiced athlete to get through it. It's called Knucklehead. It was a song about my father. And I can't do that one. But Bird's that way too. Bird is kind of like I call it an athletic song, and for me I got to practice it a lot and all the time to really present it right. This next one is called Snowflake. I wrote it during COVID, thinking about all these kids stuck at a little desk in their house or whatever equivalent, staring at a wall with a computer in front of it, or device. And I was just kind of imagining some kid looking out the window at a bird, thinking, man, I wish I was free like that bird. And I thought about the bird looking in the window, thinking, man, I wish I had protection like that kid does. I feel like a bird in a cage, told where to stay, but I want to fly away. I have seen the birds on the wind travel with their families and their friends and go away and come again. Oh, how I wish I was out there in the sky, in the tree, how I'd roam above the sea. I'd be so alive and free if I could be a bird in the breeze. I feel like a rock on a hill, remembering where I've been, trying to see where I will. Waiting for the ground to move once and wishes all come true. Tumbling down a mountain, past a prairie to my home, to build a summit of my own, or just to wander with my friends down flowing river's edge, moving when I move and resting when I rest. Alive and free, a rock in the stream. Does a bird ever look in my window and wish they were me? When the rain is on their back and when the sun heats their wings, does a city never quiet and the streetlights never sleep? Does a bird lay awake, longing to be me? And does a bird waste away its days contemplating trading for a dream, never knowing it was free? I'm as free as sky inside my mind, and I can be a mountain if I try. Well, I feel like a snowflake in the sun, scared I might fall, but I don't know how to run. I have seen the snowflakes that never touch the ground as they float around in silence, dancing up and down around the streets and through the clouds and the houses and trees and the rooftops, but they never seem to settle, just to be a hidden thing that was unique, bound forever to be free. Does a snowflake ever look in my window and wish they were me? When they have nowhere to sleep unless they have nowhere to sleep unless they fall into the sheet where they move with the masses, or they're caught beneath the feet. They flee from the rooftops, which soon will turn to ice as the children try to catch them on their tongues. And so I wonder, does a snowflake spend its life never knowing it was free? Well, I'm as free as sky inside my mind, and I can be a mountain if I try. I wish I was a bird on the breeze. I'm gonna do one more song here, because if I do it over there, you won't see me. That's my capo test. I'm hoping that means I put it on right and I'll be able to hear everything, hear all the strings ring. This next song is one of my favorite recent songs. I wrote it, but now it's probably like 5 years ago I wrote it. I'd love to record it sometime. Got to make a little more money to make another record, but I know there'll be one at some point. The sun comes up on Cleveland. George Jones is dead. Well, I'm alive in the trash of a city that's coming back again. On down this alley, beneath the bottles and the grunge, you never hear Hank Williams, Lord, and you sure won't hear the sun. I'll miss my train, I miss my time, I miss the folks that'll shake your hand and look you in the eye. Yeah, that's English on the radio, if it don't speak to me. Neither do the folks most places I go, they're just cold hard-wired machines. Is it where I am or just the time? 'Cause I look around, can't find a single thing that's mine. Yeah, but then I hear a country song and it all makes sense. I can feel my place in the world again. I'm a forgot soul, but I don't feel the need. Hey, is what I love just out of style, or is it gone forever in a Nashville smile? Won't somebody feel what's buried deep in me? 'Cause I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. Anyway, I'm gonna have to practice that one a little bit more before I play it Friday. Then I hear a country song and it all makes sense. I can feel my place in the world again. I am a forgot soul, but I don't feel the need. Well, hey, is what I love just out of style, or is it gone forever in the Nashville smile? Won't somebody feel what's buried deep in me? 'Cause I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. So I really hope you can join me Friday, May 5th, at the Old Wine Cellar. It may be called old, but it feels new. It's an awesome place just to hang out and nothing's expected, and it won't be the same without you. I hear a country song and it all makes sense, and I can feel my place in the world again. I'm a forgot soul, but I don't feel the need. Hey, is it what I love just out of style, or is it gone forever in the Nashville mile? Won't somebody feel what's buried deep in me? 'Cause I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. I hear a country song and it all makes sense to me. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I hope you have an awesome night, an awesome tomorrow, and for the 50th time, I hope I get to see some of you Friday night. Take care. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow, but only if I get I don't know. We'll see. Maybe.